Hello, everybody. Welcome to Uncommon Analysis. Today, I wanted to take a few minutes and talk about the conflict between the President Trump and the courts and what's going on here. But before I get to it, I just want to take a few seconds to say thanks to the new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. And if you like this sort of content, please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. Appreciate it. Well, so as you know, if you've been paying attention to anything related to political news for the last month or so, not even a month, I guess, because Trump only came to office now. It's hard to believe it. It hasn't even been a full month yet. Trump has been running quickly and been very busy doing a lot of things. And Elon Musk and Doge in particular have been doing a lot of things as well, exposing a lot of corruption and waste and fraud. And the left is in a tizzy about a lot of it. Going crazy about a lot of the actions he's done. And they can't really do a whole lot legislatively to stop what Trump's doing. They don't have a majority in any part of the House or Senate. They certainly don't have the executive. That's where Trump is. And so they're relying on court cases for the most part to try to stop Trump. Now, this isn't something new. This is not something that's unique to this situation, but it does show you how these folks operate, right? Republicans were elected whether you like it or not. They have the majority in both houses of the Congress, and Trump won a solid victory. And now Trump is engaging in running the executive branch into trying to bring out to expose waste, fraud, abuse, etc. Basically, being the executive, running the executive branch. And well, the left now is going to the courts, which is fine. But it's setting up, what's going on here is setting up probably something the Democrats don't want to deal with, the left doesn't want to realize is likely going to happen at the end game of all this. But we'll get to that. But right now, let's talk about some of the stuff. I mean, the absurdity of some of these court cases and these court rulings are absurd. Here's a judge literally telling the Trump administration what they can and can't put on the website. The Trump administration has moved some pages about transgender stuff off the CDC site. And a judge somehow thinks it's his business to tell the executive branch what they can and cannot do, what can and cannot be on a website. This is just absurd, in my opinion. This ruling shows the absurdity of this, but this is what they're doing. And how are they doing it? Well, there's another ruling. The biggest one probably getting a lot of attention, of course, is that the FEMA case, right, where they froze the grants and other things because they were corruption and all kinds of things. And now they're just saying, no, you got to get that money flowing again. You can't do that, even though he's the executive, running the executive branch. So there's more, but those are the times that are going on. Now, the interesting thing is to enforce a lot of this stuff, to get these sorts of rulings. What Democrats are doing is called venue shopping. And what does that mean? Well, that means they're going out and finding judges in districts, in areas that will rule in their favor. So, if you didn't know, I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. If you didn't know, the U.S. federal court system is made up of these districts. There's, I guess, 10 or 11 of them. And as you can see, each district covers a different geographical area. So when you file something in federal court, you file it in a district. So what happens is, and what's been happening for quite a while, is the left will try to, usually it's the left doing this, will try to get what they call a national injunction against some law they don't like. Some federal law they don't like, some federal ruling they don't, federal action they don't like. And what they'll do is they'll shop these districts. They'll take their case to a district they believe is going to be most friendly to them, find a judge in that district, and then get them to issue which they'll get them to issue generally a nationwide ban. And it's not really a ban, it's injunction. So, but that's not how it's supposed to work, folks. See, a district court judge, federal U.S. district judge is responsible for this district. They don't have oversight. They don't have authority in these other districts. Like a federal judge in District 10 ruling affects District 10, right? There's only one court that has full say. There's a federal appeals court, right? From here you go up to the federal appeals court, and that is nationally. They do have national jurisdiction. And of course the U.S. Supreme Court has national jurisdiction. But these individual district courts, they do not have federal jurisdiction. They do not have full federal jurisdiction. They don't. Yet they can shop, find a judge or a district that's friendly, and get a national injunction issued by somebody in this district. And this is something that's been going on for quite a while now. And it's something that needs to be taken care of. I think what you're going to see out of this, the end game of all these crazy courts getting involved where they really shouldn't, is you're going to see the restriction of the national injunction. It'll be taken away completely or highly, highly restricted. And this isn't something new. This is something that's been Judge Thomas has been talking about for a long time, and Gorsuch and others have mentioned it. But Thomas has been an advocate for this a long time, saying we have to take care of this. This is disruptive. It's dangerous. Here we go. Here's some. This is from 2020, right? The chaos of national injunctions, right? And this didn't start with Trump, by the way, especially Thomas's decrying of this stuff. He has been an outspoken critic of these national injunctions and believes the federal Supreme Court, the U.S. Supreme Court, has to deal with this. So I think what they're going to end up doing at the end of the day, and leftists are not going to like this, and Democrats are saying they're a failure by this insanity of what they're trying to do, this clear crazy, because they don't have the ability to stop Trump legislatively and try and use the courts to do so, are going to force a case to the Supreme Court where the national injunction is going to be taken away from these districts. And I believe that's a good thing. So if you want a national injunction, you're going to have to get a ruling from one of these districts. You're then going to have to appeal it to the Supreme Court. To the federal appeals court, the federal appellate court. They could then issue a national injunction. Or you're going to have to file appeals. You're going to file cases in every single district and get judges everywhere to agree with the injunction within their borders, which will completely change the dynamic of how the courts are being abused by largely the left to implement their will against the will of the people and the elected leaders. So I think I don't think we're in a constitutional crisis. Oh, we're not in a constitutional crisis, right? Trump is doing things. The courts are making rulings. It's gonna come to a head, right? Trump's not gonna win everything. I don't think for 1 minute everything Trump's doing, every court case, they're gonna win. But I do think at the end of the day, Trump's gonna win most of this stuff because he is the executive. Who is a federal judge? Who is a federal judge to tell the executive branch what can and can't be on their website? What nonsense is that? What absolute nonsense is that? These judges are out of control. And you're going to see more and more of this crazy. I guarantee it, because this is what they're doing. This is where the left is going right now to try to stall or delay Trump. Is they're going to get a judge. They don't care about the law to say anything they want to try to stop Trump. So you're going to see more and more of this kind of crazy. This is absurd. I don't think the people as a whole really support this. I think this judge is completely out of line. I think this judge will be probably thrown out on appeal as it works its way up to the courts. But I think what they're setting up is it going to be the end game of all this, I suspect, will be, and it might take a little time because, courts don't move quickly. If you've ever dealt with the court system, you know that in general they do not move quickly. But at the end of the day, I think you're going to see a case go before the Supreme Court that is going to, as part of its ruling, ban federal injunctions by these district courts or restrict them very, very highly, which is going to completely end this nonsense of just shopping your case, getting a friendly judge in one district to then issue a national injunction to stop whatever it is you don't like. All right. Well, that's all I got today. It's a short one, guys. Hope you have a great day. And I am out.